Alright guys, now let's look at volume. So volume is not as complicated as area. There's only two things you have to know. So same as area, you have the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, let me show you what to expect. If let's say the question is like this, you have the graph, and then you've got a curve here, and then you are looking for, so let's say here A, here B. Okay, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and you are finding for the volume of this part when it rotates the x-axis. Okay, when it rotates the x-axis. So what do you expect to see is, you will see a sort of like a something like this, right? It goes around, so in the end you will see a sort of like a volume of what is this, cylinder, correct? It's a volume because it's going around the x-axis. So how do you find the volume of this? So the formula is like this. You're going to integrate. Same thing is from A to B, right? So A to B, and then it's on the x-axis, so it's rotating around the x-axis, so it's going to be dx. So in the area questions just now, we use, when we are integrating in terms of dx, okay, here is the subject of the equation must be y, correct? That's how we find area. The same thing applies for volume, but the only difference is here is y square. Okay, you're finding for y square. Okay, and one extra is you have a pi in front. You must multiply pi. So this is the volume. Okay, so previously was area, is only, let me recap, AB and then y dx. Okay, if it's about the x-axis. Okay, for volume you must y square it and you must multiply by the pi. Okay, clear? Now what about when it's rotating around the y-axis? So for example, okay, let me draw like this. Okay, now, oops, my bad. Let's say you got a curve here and you're looking for the volume of this side. So here A, here B. So you will expect to see what? A volume here, a volume, right? If it's rotating around the y-axis, let's say it's the y-axis rotating around y-axis, you would expect to see a same thing. You see a cylinder, but it's something like this, right? It's not really a cylinder, but something like this. Same like the first question just now, you would expect to see something like this, something like this, correct? So it's a volume lah, of course. I'll draw a 3D for you. Okay, something like that. Okay, so for if it's rotating around the y-axis, what's your formula? Your formula is volume equals to same thing, A to B. Okay, the range, and then it's going to be against the y-axis, right? So it's y dy, and then here instead of x you write x square. Okay, and then don't forget to multiply by pi. Okay, so that's all you have to know for this. We'll go through the examples and I'm sure you understand how to apply this. Okay, let's see. So find the volume generated in terms of pi when the shaded region in each diagram is revolved through 360 degree around 360 degree. So this one is going to rotate 360 degree. Okay, so how do you find this? So you can see that it is on the, you're going to rotate around the x-axis, right? Because it's a question A about the x-axis, so you can straight away use the formula. So the volume would be equal to, don't forget your pi, and then your integrate 0 to 2. Okay, and then this equation is what is on the x-axis, so it's going to be dx, right? And then here must be y square. Okay, so what is y square? So your equation here is y, it's not y square, correct? So if you want to find y square, you must square both sides. So it becomes y square equals to negative x squared plus 3x squared. So you get positive x power 4 minus 6x cubed plus 9x squared. Okay, so you substitute this is y square, so you can substitute this whole thing into the integration part. So x power 4 minus 6x cubed plus 9x squared, and then dx. Now you can integrate. So when you integrate, you will get x power 5 over 5 minus 6x power 4 over 4 plus 9x power 3 over 3, then square bracket 20. So you can simplify this, becomes 2, 3, here is 3 and 1 and 3. Okay, so now you just have to substitute each of these. Okay, so I'm not going to substitute, I'm just going to write the answer straight away. So you should get pi times, when you substitute 2 in it, you'll get 32 over 5 minus, when you substitute 0, you get 0. So your final answer would be 32 over 5 pi unit cube. Okay, because it's volume. Okay, so this is when it rotates around the x-axis. What about B? So now this one is about y-axis, so you're rotating around the y-axis. So question B, you are going to use the formula V equals to pi A to B. Okay, let me write the formula down first. Okay, wait, so A to B is where? Is from here, y-axis, right? So from here to 6. So that means 0 to 6. And then it's around the y-axis, so it's going to be dy. And then here should be x squared. Okay, so pi integrate 60. So what is x squared? So you have to rearrange this formula, okay, because you want to make x squared as the subject. So when you change this, okay, let me write here, y equals to 6 minus 2x squared. So 2x squared equals to 6 minus y. Okay, I just switching place. So x squared equals to 6 minus y over 2. So do I have to shift this square root to shift the square to become square root? Answer is no need, because you are looking for x squared. So it's already in x squared here, so you don't have to change anything. So you can just straight away substitute. So you get 6 over, I'm going to break this. So I break this, it becomes 6 over 2 means 3 minus y over 2. Okay, so I'm going to substitute here. You get 3 minus y over 2 dy. So you can integrate this, you get 3y minus y square over 4. Okay, because why? The y becomes y square, so 2 will times the 2 here, so you get 4. So substitute 6, 0. So when you substitute 6, what are you going to get? You will get 9. And when you substitute 0, you get obviously 0. So your final answer would be 9 pi unit cube. Alright, so this is how you solve volume. Right, next. In the diagram on the right, the curve y square equals to 4 minus x, and the straight line, okay, they give you a straight line, intersects at 2 points, A and B. Okay, find the coordinate of A. Now there are two ways that you can solve this. The first way is when you find both coordinate one shot. Okay, how are you going to find? Because it's intercept between these two equations, right? So you can use simultaneous to find both. Okay, or you can do separately. In question, for this question A, right, they're asking for coordinate A. So coordinate A is on the x-axis, correct? So if it's on the x-axis, you know that the y value is going to be equals to 0, correct? So when y equals to 0, you can straight away find the coordinate of A by using either one, because both equations will pass through the point. Okay, so it's up to you which one you prefer. But in this case, since this equation is much easier, the linear equation, so I'm going to use the linear equation. So y equals to x minus 2. So it's on the y-axis, so x is, it's on the y-axis, x is equals to 0. Okay, I made a mistake here. Not y equals 0. X is equals to 0. so y will be equal to -2. Okay, so once you find y equals to -2, you know what is the value of a lah. So the coordinate a is 0, -2. Okay, so this is your coordinate a. Done. Question B. Coordinate B. So coordinate B, there's only one way you can do, which is simultaneous, because you have two equations intercepting at coordinate B. So you use simultaneous. Wait, let me change color so you don't get confused. Question B. So one is this equation, the other is this equation. Okay, so what we can do is we can straight away substitute. So y square equals to 4 minus x, correct? And here y equals to x minus 2. So you can substitute into the the y value here, equals to 4 minus x. So x square minus 4x plus 4 equals to 4 minus x. So here you can cancel each other. So your equation should be x square minus 3x equals to 0. So you factorize x out, you get x minus 3 equals to 0. So x can be either equals to 0 or x equals to 3. Okay, but coordinate A is already 0 here. So you know this one belongs to coordinate A. Okay, so we're not going to do anything about that. Because why? There are two intersections, correct? One of these is going to be A, one of these is going to be B. Since x equals 0, you know x equals 0 is coordinate A. So you don't have to substitute this. So you just have to find what is x equals to 3. So x equals to 3, what is the y value? So you just substitute into either one of this equation. When x equals to 3, you can find the coordinate of y. So y equals to x minus 2, right? So 3 minus 2, answer is 1. So therefore coordinate B would be 3, 1. Okay, so this is coordinate B. Now question C, they ask you to find what? Find the volume generated in terms of pi when the enclosed shaded region by these two equations rotated through 360 around y-axis. So they want, you see here, they told you y-axis, correct? So it's rotating around the y-axis. So it's going to be similar to area. So area, how we found is, we take the whole thing minus the unwanted region, so that you find the remaining. So you're going to do the same thing, but in this case you're going to do in terms of volume. Okay, so how it end up like this. So volume of the shaded region, okay, is going to be equals to pi. So what is the two the coordinate? So we are only going to take here, we're only going to take this point. Okay, we are not going to take all the way here, please. We're going to take only this point and this point. So what is the coordinate? Here you know the coordinate is 1, because B value is what? 3, 1, right? And then coordinate A is 0, -2. So you know here is -2 and this coordinate here is 1. So the range of your volume should be -2 to 1. Okay, and this time you're going to take the larger volume, which is the curve. Okay, the curve, this one is in terms of y, right? Dy, because it's around the y-axis. So you must take the x1 square minus the x2 square. So either one here is, which one here is supposed to be the x1? X1 should be the curve and the x2 should be the straight line. Okay, so pi equals to -2, 1. Okay, now second thing is we need to convert the equation into x, make x as the subject. Okay, so I'm going to write it here. So y square minus 4 equals to 4 minus x. So I shift this, I get x equals to 4 minus y square. So you're looking for x square, right? So x square would be equals to, you have to square this as well. So you should get 16 minus 8y square plus y power 4. Okay, so this is for x1. Okay, now you want the second one, which is x2. x2 is the straight line. Sorry, yeah, correct, the straight line. So straight line is going to be equals to y equals to x minus 2. So x would be equals to y plus 2, correct? So x square would be y plus 2 square, which is y square plus 4y plus 4. Okay, so you got these two equations now. You can straight away substitute into the integration part. So which is x1? x1 is the curve, right? You want to take the larger volume. So the big curve here is 16 minus 8y square plus y power 4. And then you're going to minus the volume of the straight line. Straight line here is y square plus 4y plus 4 dy. Okay, so now you can simplify it before you solve. So you get y power 4, and then negative 8y minus y, you get negative 9y square. And then what else? Negative 4y. 16 minus 4, you get 12. So 4 plus 12 dy. So now you can integrate. So y power 5 over 5 minus 9y power 3 over 3 minus 4y square over 2 plus 12y. Then substitute 1 and negative 2. Okay, so I don't have much space here. So you can actually simplify, which is here becomes 1, here becomes 3, here becomes 1, here becomes 2. Okay, so now you can straight away substitute. So when you substitute, you should get, the first one here is pi, you get 36 over 5 minus negative 72 over 5. So your final answer would be 108 over 5 pi unit cube. Okay, sorry I had to cram here. Okay, I got not much space, but I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. As long as you follow the formula, very likely can solve it. Okay, right, next. The diagram on the right shows a curve y equals to x square plus 4 and tangent to the curve at point P. Okay, point P. Find the coordinate of Q. So in the previous question, right? Previous question, you have to find coordinate A and B. And A and B are actually intersection of the two curve. Okay, the two lines. Okay, and you're given two equations. But in this case, you're only given one equation. Okay, you don't know what's the equation of the straight line, and it's not an intercept between the two lines. But what you notice is that it's cutting through the y-axis. So if it's cutting through the y-axis, that means you're looking for y-intercept. Okay, so but before that, you don't even know what's the equation of the straight line. So how are you going to solve this? We learned this in the previous chapter, which is differentiation. We can find the gradient of the straight line because it's a tangent to the curve, right? So you can find the gradient of the straight line on this particular point, okay, by differentiating. So y, we use the curve, y equals to x square plus 4. So dy dx is equals to 2x. That's it. There's no plus 4 there. Okay, so this is what dy dx equals to 2x. So at this particular point P, so at point P, the x value is equals to 1, right? So equals to 2 times 1. Answer is 2. So dy dx is equals to 2. So what does dy dx mean? Dy dx means gradient, correct? So in other words, m is equals to 2. Okay, because there's gradient. What other way can you use to find gradient? You can use m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the other way to find gradient. So you know what is your point P. Point P is 1, 5. Point Q is what? It's on the y-axis, so the x value must be equals to 0, and you are looking for y. You don't know what's y, okay? Because you're looking for the y-intercept. So now you just have to substitute into this equation. So m is already equals to 2, you already know that. y2 minus y, let's say y minus 5 over 0 minus 1. Okay, so you can you can rearrange this. You get negative 2 equals to y minus 5. So y would be equals to negative 2 plus 5. So answer is 3. So the y-intercept is 3. So coordinate Q would be 0, 3. Okay, this is your answer. Now question B. Question B is asking you to find area of the shaded region. Okay, area. So we are going back to area now. So question now is, do you want to use the y-axis or the x-axis? In this case, you can use both. Okay, it's entirely up to you which one you prefer. But just to make things exciting, I'm going to use the x. Okay, so I'm going to draw the line here. So here is 1 and here is 0. So I'm going to take the area of this curve minus the area of this straight line part, the unwanted. So I can find the area of the shaded region. Clear? So question B is, give me a second. So area equals to, you integrate from 0 to 1, and this one is on the x-axis, right? X-axis is dx. So here should be y1 minus y2. So what is going to be y1? Y1 would be the curve. Okay, so it's given to you here. Okay, so you get x squared plus 4 minus, so now you have to find the equation of the straight line. Okay, how do you find the equation of the straight line? Y equals to mx plus c, correct? And you already know what is m, and you also know what is c. C is the y-intercept, correct? That means the coordinate q. So the straight line here would be y equals to 2x plus 3. Okay, because mx plus c, right? The c value is 3. You've already found. Okay, so you just substitute here, 2x plus 3 dx. So now you can expand it first. So x squared remains minus 2x plus 4 minus 3, you get plus 1. So now you integrate, you get x cubed over 3 minus 2x squared over 2 plus x. Don't forget, here you can simplify. 1, 1. So your final answer, oh wait, don't forget to substitute. This one is 1, this is 0. Okay, when you substitute x equals to 1, you get 1 over 3, minus when you substitute 0, you get 0. So your final answer would be 1 over 3 unit square. Okay, so that's how you find the area. Now question C, you want to find volume. So same thing here, volume is what? They said that calculate the volume in terms of pi when the region bounded by curve, okay, these two curve. Oh, okay, so this one is different now. They are saying bounded by this curve, okay, this curve here, and the y-axis, okay, y-axis, and the line y equals to 8. So where is y equals to 8? Y equals to 8 should be on top, because we know this is 5, correct? So 8 should be on top here. So that means you are looking at this, the area of this part. Here must be 8. Okay, you are looking for the area. So make sure you read the question properly. I don't just do up to you like that. Okay, so make sure you know what you're looking for. So you're looking for the volume that is given to you here. So you can use your range of, okay, so volume equals to pi. It is from here to here. But the question is, what is this point? You don't know what is this. So okay, let me erase this, okay, so that we can solve this together. It becomes much easier. If not, it's a bit hard to see. So let me redraw this. Now you are looking for from here, let's say here is 8. Okay, let's say here is 8, and then bounded by y-axis and the curve here. So that means you're looking at this area. Then you're looking for this point. How do you find this point? This point would be the y-intercept of this equation, correct? The curve. So what's the y-intercept of the curve? 4. There, it's written here. So you know it's from 4 to 8. Okay, 4 to 8. So when you do your equation, it's going to be from 4 to 8. Okay, so now it is on the y-axis, correct? So it's going to be dy. So here it's supposed to be x square. Okay, your equation must be x square equation. Okay, so now equals to pi 4 8. So now you must rearrange this equation to get make x square as the subject. So it becomes x square equals to y minus 4. So it's going to be y minus 4 dy. So you get y square over 2 minus 4y. Here you substitute 8 and also 4. Okay, so when you substitute y equals to 8, you should get 0. And when you substitute y equals to 4, you should get negative 8. So your volume should be 8 pi unit cube. Okay, so this is how you find volume. So in this question, you have finding the coordinate, you have area and also volume. Okay, let's see the next one. Alright, so we are already at the application part. Okay, application part of this chapter. So let's see. The diagram on the right shows the cross section of a rattan food cover, which is parabolic in shape and is presented by the equation y equals to, okay, where y is the height or height in meter and x is the radius of the food cover. So x is the radius, okay, in meter. Show that k equals to, okay, so question A, they ask you to show this k value. So before that, I want you all to see this equation. Y equals to negative kx square. What does this mean? How would you imagine the graph look like? So usually we, like for example, y equals to x square. If it's a quadratic graph, positive, you know it's going to be a U shape. Why? Because positive gradient, right? Positive x square. Positive means positive people are always smiling. So it's a U shape. Okay, but in this case, it's a negative. Negative means what? Negative means N shape. Okay, and this K here only shows how steep the graph is. It can be sharp or it can be a fat one, you know, we don't know. So based on the value of K. So from here, you can already know how the graph looks like. Okay, so because it is negative kx, you can actually draw your axis here. It's going to be like this. Something like this. Okay, this is your axis. So at this point is going to be the coordinate at this point, this coordinate here. At any, I just want to take a random coordinate. So this coordinate here is going to be, here is 100, right? So here would be 50. Here also would be 50. Okay, so the coordinate here is going to be 50, and the base, right, is at the y here is negative 50. So 50, negative 50 at this particular point. Okay, I hope you all understand what I'm saying here. Let me repeat in case you don't know what I'm talking. This is your y-axis, right? So if you notice that here is 50, right? 50 cm. So that means at this point it is negative 50, and at this point on top here, because 100 cm is the diameter, correct? So 50 cm would be the radius. Okay, so that's why here is also 50. So your coordinate at this particular point is 50 and negative 50. So now they want you to show that k equals to this. So how to show is you can take any particular point on this curve, this parabolic curve here, any particular point. You can also take this point if you want. You can take any point you want as long as you can find the coordinate. Okay, so for me, I've already found this coordinate, so I'm going to use this coordinate to substitute into the equation. So the equation here is y equals to negative kx squared, and you're going to substitute that particular point, which is 50, negative 50. So y value is negative 50 equals to negative k, 50, x is 50, right, square. So here negative negative can cancel out, so k would be equal to 50 over 50 square. Okay, so your answer would be 1 over 50. So is it shown? So you managed to show. Okay, so this is how you show. Now question B. Find the internal volume of the food cover. So they want to find the volume, the whole thing here. So of course, is it easier for you to use the x-axis or the y-axis? Obviously it is the y-axis, correct? Because you can straight away find by using the y-axis there, the middle line there. Okay, so it's going to be volume equals to pi integrate. So it's from this bottom point here, which is negative 50, all the way to 0. Okay, and then because it's on the y-axis, so it's going to be dy, and then here is going to be x squared. Okay, so pi negative 50 to 0. So what is your x squared? You need to find your x squared. So you already know your equation of k, right? I mean, sorry, the equation of the curve is y equals to negative 1 over 50 x squared. So you want to make x squared as a subject so that you can substitute here. So it's going to be x squared equals to negative 50y. So substitute negative 50y dy. So now you can integrate. So you get negative 50y squared over 2. Then substitute 0 and negative 50. Okay, so your answer should be, when you substitute 0, you should get 0, and then when you substitute negative 50, you should get negative 62500. So your final answer would be 62500 pi unit cube. This is your answer in terms of pi. Alright, next. Alright, this is the last question. The yearly rate of depreciation. Okay, so this rate of depreciation of the price of a car is, so they give you the equation for rate of depreciation. Okay, where A is the original price of the car and T is the number of years. Now for those who don't know what is depreciation, let me give you an example. I'm sure you have already learned, but I'm just going to explain to those who don't know. So let's say you bought a car. Car cost you 50,000, okay, at year 0. That means the day you bought the car, at year 0. 1 year later, at year 1, after you use for 1 year, so at year 1, when you sell this car, are you going to sell it at 50,000? Answer is no. You're not going to sell it because you already used the car, so you cannot sell at the same price. And let's say you kept it for 10 years, year 10, and you decide to sell this car. Are you still going to sell it at 50,000? No, because if you sell at this price, nobody will buy from you, okay? Because you already used the car. So you probably will sell at, let's say you sold at 20k. Okay, from 50k, it went to 20k. So what does that mean? It means the value has dropped by 30k, correct? You lost $30,000 in value, the car. So this thing is what we call as depreciation. Okay, this is what you call as depreciation. So coming back to this question, question 8, it says what? Given the original price is 48,000, find the price of the car after 7 years. So they are telling you from year 0 all the way to year 7. Okay, so they are giving you a range there. So they ask you to find the price. To find the price on year 7, you must take the original price minus the depreciation amount. Okay, you must take the original price, like what I showed you just now, original the example just now, right? 50k minus the 30k. 30k is the depreciation. This is the original price minus the depreciation. You will get your new price of the car. Okay, the new value, so 20k. Okay, so this is the new price, the latest price lah. Okay, which is much lower. So in this case, they ask you to find the price after 7 years. So that means you need to find the depreciation value first. Take the original. In this case, original is already 48,000 minus the depreciation value, and you will get the price after 7 years. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so first of all, how do we find the depreciation value? By using the equation they gave you. So they said that S prime is what? Rate of depreciation. So in other words, it is ds over dt. Okay, S is the depreciation. Okay, so ds over dt. The equation is a over 1000 times 20 minus t. Okay, so this is the equation. So now you want to find the depreciation value. So that means, in other words, you're finding for S. How to find S? By integrating this. Okay, when you integrate ds over dt, you will get the S value. Okay, so question A, you want to find S value, which is the integration of this ds over dt. So what is the range? It's from 0 all the way to 7, because it's from year 0 to year 7, correct? So the original price is 48,000 over 1000 times 20 minus t dt. Okay, because you want to integrate in terms of time. So what you're going to do is cancel this. Okay, you can simplify first before you solve. So you get 70. So 48 times 20, you should get 960 minus 48t dt. So now you can simplify this. So when you simplify this, now I think some of y'all might be thinking why I differentiate in terms of dt. See, ds over dt, right, equals to a over 1000. For those who are questioning why I differentiate in terms of dt, is because you want to find S, right? So you bring the dt opposite side. So ds equals to a over 1000 20 minus t dt. You see that? So when you differentiate this ds here, so you must differentiate. Okay, so this one, when you differentiate this, you will get S equals to this. Okay, so that's what I got here. Okay, so for those who are thinking why I differentiate in terms of dt, this is the reason. Okay, so now let us continue. Okay, let me erase this first. Okay, so now you can integrate. So you get 960t minus 48t square over 2, 70. Okay, so you just have to substitute 7 and 0. So when you substitute 7, you will get 5544 minus, substitute 0, you get 0. So your final answer here is RM 5544. So this is the depreciation value. Okay, how much money you have lost, okay, after 7 years. So what is the new price? So the price after 7 years, after 7 years would be, okay, right here, you take the original 48,000 minus 5544. So your answer would be 42456. Okay, so this is the new price after 7 years. Okay, so now question B. Question B is, they tell you if the original price is 88,500, so now your A value is no longer 48, is 88.5k. Find the percentage depreciation. Okay, don't ignore the percentage first, find the depreciation first. Okay, after 5 years. So actually it's the same thing, you want to find the depreciation value after 5 years. So now it's from 0 all the way to 5. Okay, so A value now is what, 88500 divided by 1000 times 20 minus t dt. Okay, so same thing, you want to simplify first. So now you can expand, you should get 1770 minus 885 over 10 t dt. Okay, so now you can integrate, you get 1770 t minus 885 t square over 20. Okay, so you draw your bracket 50. So when you substitute 5, you should get 7743.75 minus, then when you substitute 0, you get 0. So your depreciation value is what? RM 7743.75. Okay, now this is not the answer. Why? Because they asked for percentage. So how do you find percentage? So let me write here. So percentage depreciation would be equals to, so you find the amount of depreciation, which is 7743.75, divided by the original price of the car, which is 88,500, times 100%. So your answer should be 8.75%. So that means in 5 years, 8.75% of the value of the car is gone. It is gone through depreciation. So you lost 8.75% in the 5 years, okay, because of depreciation. So this is your answer. Okay, so that is all for integration. We have covered everything you need to know from part 1, part 2, and now also part 3 video. So I hope you find it useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who will also benefit from this. I thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you on my next video. Take care. Bye bye.